Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we re-heading deep into the grimy streets of New York City in the late 70s and early 80s to explore one of the most controversial, disturbing, and unforgettable slasher films ever made, William Lustig's Maniac, 1980. This film is infamous for its gritty atmosphere, sleazy vibe, and over-the-top gore effects designed by none other than Tom Savini. While it doesn't rack up the highest body count in horror history, the brutality of its kills and the psychological depth of its main character, Frank Zito, make it stand out in horror history. In this kill count breakdown, we'll examine the story, the disturbing psychology of Frank, the infamous kills, the practical effects that shocked audiences, the controversy and censorship battles, and finally the legacy this cult classic left behind. Buckle up, horror fans, because this isn't just another slasher. This is Maniac, a descent into madness. We begin with an exterior shot, the seedy streets of New York in 1980. The city itself is a character, dirty, dangerous, and filled with decay. The film wastes no time introducing us to Frank Zito, played in a career-defining performance by Joe Spinell. Frank is not your typical horror villain in a mask. He's sweaty, greasy, unhinged, and deeply traumatized. His backstory of childhood abuse at the hands of his mother is revealed slowly, and it explains much of his obsession with women and violence. But make no mistake, Maniac is not asking us to sympathize. It asks forcing us to stare into the abyss of a killer's mind. The first kill comes quickly and sets the tone for the entire film. A couple is on the beach trying to enjoy a quiet evening together when Frank stalks them from the shadows. He sneaks up, strangles the man with piano wire, and brutally stabs the woman. Already the violence is raw and uncomfortable. Unlike other slashers that might glamorize the kills, Maniac makes them ugly, slow, and personal. Each scream, each stab, feels like an intrusion into the victim's body and soul. And the sound design, the wet, squishy stabs, makes it all the more visceral. Kill count +2. Next, we move into Frank's world. His apartment is filled with mannequins, each wearing the scalp of one of his victims. Yes, Frank scalps women and nails the hair onto his mannequins to create his companions. This grotesque hobby underscores the film's themes of loneliness, isolation, and obsession. The mannequins whisper to him, laugh at him, and remind him of his mother. It's both pathetic and terrifying. The subway kill is one of the most iconic sequences. A nurse walking home late at night feels she's being followed. The chase through the subway tunnels is suspenseful and terrifying, perfectly capturing the fear women feel in a city that's supposed to be safe, but never is. Eventually, Frank corners her in a bathroom stall and stabs her to death. It's a harrowing scene, claustrophobic and relentless. Kill count +1, total now 3. But the most infamous kill, the one everyone remembers, is the shotgun scene. Tom Savini himself plays one of two men sitting in a parked car with his date. Frank suddenly appears outside, raises a shotgun, and blows Savini's head apart in one of the most shocking practical effects of all time. The head explosion is legendary, and censors around the world tried to cut it, but horror fans celebrated it as a masterpiece of gore. Kill count +2 more victims, total 5. Frank continues his spree, targeting sex workers and random women he encounters. One prostitute is brought to his apartment, where he strangles her and adds her scalp to his mannequin collection. The sequence is sleazy, grimy, and deeply disturbing, perfectly reflecting the exploitation cinema vibe of the era. Kill count +1, total now 6. Later, Frank meets Anna, a photographer played by Caroline Munro. Unlike the other women he stalks, Anna represents something different, a chance at connection, maybe even redemption. She treats him kindly, befriends him, and introduces him to her world of art and beauty. For a moment, it seems like Frank might break free from his urges, but as we know, horror doesn't work that way. His obsession grows, and when he can't control his impulses, He lashes out again. Another memorable kill comes when Frank follows one of Anna's friends. He tracks her back to her apartment, attacks her, and scalps her too. The kill is brutal, the stalking is drawn out, and the effect is another notch on the Gore scale. Kill count +1, total 7. The final act of the movie is a descent into madness. Frank spirals out of control, haunted by visions of his mother and tormented by guilt and paranoia. In the climax, he returns to his apartment, where the mannequins seem to come alive. They surround him, tearing him apart, ripping his body and head in a surreal, nightmarish sequence. The imagery is unforgettable. Is it real, or is it all in Frank's mind? The movie ends with his corpse lying on the bed, throat slit, as police officers discover his body. But in true horror fashion, his eyes open one last time, leaving us with the question, was it all a dream, or will Frank Zito's nightmare continue? Kill count reflection. While Maniac doesn't have a sky-high body count compared to slashers like Friday the 13th or Halloween, each kill carries weight. The total kill count in the film lands around 7 to 8, depending on how you interpret certain sequences. But the impact is far greater than numbers. These kills are not fun, they're not cathartic. They're disturbing, messy, and tragic. That's the genius of Maniac. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you question why you're watching, and it leaves you haunted long after the credits roll. Now let's talk about the practical effects. Tom Savini's work in this film is legendary. The gore is realistic, shocking, and groundbreaking for its time. The head explosion alone cemented Maniac's place in horror history. But every scalp, every stab, is a testament to the power of practical effects. No CGI, no fancy editing, just raw, in-your-face horror. But Maniac wasn't just controversial because of the gore. It was criticized heavily for its depiction of violence against women. Feminist groups protested it, theaters banned it, and critics like Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert condemned it as pure trash. Yet, beneath the sleaze, there's a psychological depth that makes it more than exploitation. Frank Zito is not Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. He's not a supernatural force. He's a broken man, shaped by trauma, consumed by obsession, and drowning in his own loneliness. That makes him all the more terrifying, because he feels real. The controversy didn't stop Maniac from becoming a cult classic. Over time, horror fans recognized its artistry, its atmosphere, and its influence. It paved the way for more psychological slashers like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, 1986, and influenced countless filmmakers exploring the darker corners of human psychology. In 2012, Maniac was remade with Elijah Wood in the lead role, bringing a new perspective and modern sensibility to the story. While different in style, the remake carried the same disturbing DNA. Legacy-wise, Maniac stands as a brutal reminder that horror doesn't always have to be fun. Sometimes it's supposed to hurt. Sometimes it's supposed to challenge you, to make you squirm, to force you to confront the darkest parts of human nature. And that's what makes it unforgettable. In conclusion, Maniac 1980 is not for the faint of heart. It's ugly, it's disturbing, it's controversial, and it's brilliant. From Joe Spinell's chilling performance to Tom Savini's jaw-dropping effects, it remains a cornerstone of grindhouse horror. The kill count might be small, but the psychological impact is enormous. This is a film that gets under your skin and stays there. So that's Maniac 1980 on the kill count. What did you think? Which kill disturbed you the most? The subway murder, the shotgun head explosion, or Frank's final hallucination? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more kill counts, horror breakdowns, and deep dives into the movies that scare us most. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters aren't a T hiding under the bed. They were standing right in front of you, walking the streets just like Frank Zito.